all the way up there?
Yeah. Should I bring it down a little bit? No shirt. Hairy chest.
Yucky!
No, I need a shave.
This isn't OnlyFans. Hi everyone, my name's Hunter.
My name's Matthew.
And we are Hunter and Matthew. We are a married couple. We've been married for almost 2 years now. Woo! You excited about that?
Yeah.
You better. And this is our part 2 of us talking about our coming out stories. This is my episode.
Yay!
So if you haven't seen Matthew's episode,
go watch that.
Go watch it. It'll be up there. Excuse me.
And if you're new here, hi. Welcome. If you're not, hi.
Hi.
Nice
Welcome.
to see you again. Oh, well, gotcha.
You're not welcome, I guess. Damn.
Well, you are welcome. It's nice to see you again. Tell us about your coming out. How old were you when you kind of like realized for yourself?
That's an interesting story.
Okay.
As many young boys were probably doing, and they should not have been doing. We were on specific websites that we should not have been partaking in. I was looking up the like heteronormative things too, but then every so often I'd be like,
oh my God, what is that? What is that?
I'm glad you went that far because I never got there.
You just went straight for it?
I sure did.
Ew.
I think that says a lot about me.
You said, get that straight
Get out of here.
But yeah, I would go back and forth, and I got caught many a times. One time when I was like really young, I printed off a picture of a naked lady.
Woman.
Yeah, and I put it in one of the, you know that board, it's not really a board game, but it's a game where like it's a blue square and you put white ice cubes in there and you have to knock it out with a hammer and try not to make the whole thing fall.
Yes.
And so you have to be strategic with which little ice cubes you would hit so that way the whole thing wouldn't just collapse.
I think I know this game. I don't think I ever played it. I was too busy playing Pretty Pretty Princess.
Yeah, so I put that in the box, and then eventually my parents decided, out of all days, they never wanted to play. They would go and
Play that game.
And I got in trouble. Then a couple times, I didn't clear the history. Then a couple times...
We've all been there.
And then one time I got a virus on our family computer, so... Yeah. Maybe twice, actually, TBH. I just wasn't learning my lesson. But even as I was watching these things, I was very much in denial. I was like, I'm just curious. I just want to see what all the hubbub's about, you know? But then as time went on, instead of being like 10% gay
versus
videos, it would start to go to like 25 and then
50 and then...
Hold up now. 26 and then and then somewhere around middle school, you know, when you're in middle school, your hormones start to develop, you go through puberty, so like everything's so dramatic then.
Yeah.
That's when I couldn't really decipher who I liked. But in middle school, because I was in such denial, I was very much like, I like these girls. I had girlfriends and things.
It sickens me. I woke up this morning, I was so in a rage about what they are doing.
I remember it doesn't really count, but in elementary school, I had a girlfriend and she kept going up to me. She was like, when are we going to make the move?
The move.
And every time she would say that, I would go,
not now.
No, maybe later. I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. I had maybe like 4.
It's more than me. I think I had 1.
1, 2, 3. Actually, I did have a long-ish one in like 7th grade.
How long?
A couple months.
Oh.
It was like during the summer.
Pretty legendary if you ask me. I love it. And this era will always have such a close place in my heart.
But lo and behold, also in middle school, I was indeed involved with some men's.
It's kind of slutty.
Well, you were in middle school, so they weren't menses yet.
I was involved with the same sex multiple times. So I had two neighbors who very often, the three of us would do some things that we should not have been doing. Interesting enough, that went on for like 3-4 years. I couldn't even tell you how old I was when it started, and I think it ended when I was 16. And the whole time, I was like, this isn't gay. We're not kissing.
I love this ideology that it's not gay if you don't kiss.
And that was true. It wasn't gay because we were not kissing.
But that's the fun part.
I know that now because I be kissing.
I love kissing.
And so that was going on for years and years and years. And the thing is, we even joked around about dating each other. We were like, oh yeah, we're dating. And like, it'd be like, hee hee ha ha. But like, deep in my heart, I was
You had
like,
a little flutter.
I was like, ooh,
A boy.
a boy. And so I was kidding myself for the longest time. Yeah, we would go on dates, which really just meant like have lunch on the front porch. But like, it's hard to explain. I wrote a whole solo show about this
In
my senior
college,
year.
yeah.
It's like a whole hour-and-a-half long thing. I have the script somewhere, but it's really hard to explain that part of my life. One, because it was so neurotic. That's not the word I want.
Neurotic.
No, it was so erotic. No, it it was just such a bizarre time in my life. I remember in high school one time, people were like, Hunter, have you had your first kiss? And I had to be like, well, we peck kissed like once or twice.
But no, like,
Maybe 3 times.
but no make out.
No. And so, because it wasn't gay and it wasn't a girl, I never counted it. And so, everyone was like, Hunter, have
You didn't count it because it wasn't a girl?
At first, I think, yeah. And so people would be like, Hunter, have you had your first kiss? And I was like, no. Or I'd be like, maybe.
Interesting.
So a lot of denial for a long time. And then one day, one of my friends came out as bisexual. Then I started to think of like, even though I had already met you a full and
I'm sitting here cross-legged, dainty as hell.
yeah. And so
I did come in hot into that school.
yeah, Matthew came in, transferred sophomore.
We talked about this, haven't we?
I don't know. You came in sophomore year and you were like, hi, my name is Matthew and I'm gay.
Yeah.
And so I was like, ew. None of that gay over here,
You
please.
still act like that.
Ew. But then that was obviously like August. This is March of sophomore year. And so then I had to sit down and think. I was like, hey, all this is happening around me. Maybe I need to start evaluating myself. So then I had to sit down with myself and be like, Hunter, you would not let this gay with your neighbors go on this long if you didn't like it.
Hey, you haven't returned any.
You are gay.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when it was happening, I would be like, ugh, not this again. But then I would purposely go over there to their house to do it
again.
Yeah. I would purposely go over there to do it again. I'd be like, time to do it. And so I think April of my sophomore year of college, so that would have been
College?
Nope. High school, sorry. Is when I first told 3 of my friends. 3 of my friends. 2 girls and 1 boy. And I don't know if I said keep it a secret or not.
I don't think you did, or if you did, they didn't listen to that because I was told.
Bitches get stitches.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody else. I think I told them to keep it a secret for a while. Then eventually I said, you can spread it. Because I wasn't about to individually come out to everybody. That's stupid.
Yeah, there's no need to do that.
And
Just
so,
say it loud enough for the room to hear, and that's all you need.
Yeah, I just told the people I cared about knowing. They can just spread the word.
If need be.
Okay, so eventually, that's junior year. And now, said boy and I, the boy who came out in March and I were having a fling of relations. We were having relations.
And I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
That's when I finally got to like kiss boys, and I was like, oh yeah, this is right.
Kissing boys really just... God knew what he was doing. Kissing boys, man. Oof.
Really?
I'm not kissing!
Prove it. And so, we were having relations. I was having feelings for said boy, but he was like, no, I just want to kiss. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll take that. So that was going on for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. And then eventually, I had feelings for this one right here. And as soon as I decided I felt that way, he gets a boyfriend. And I was like, him then. And so then I went back to my fling, and then eventually I got feelings for him again. So then eventually, fast forward, yada yada. I'm not gonna repeat stuff in another video, but we started dating, he and I, junior year, February.
Almost
February
8 years ago. 25th. Almost 8 years.
Yeah. And so, I just had a really strong feeling about Matthew and I from the beginning. I remember texting you, I think the day we made it official, I was like, I had a good feeling about this one.
Well, of course you have a good feeling about it. Everyone has good feelings about the relationships they have.
Nuh-uh, some people just do it because they're bored. So literally 2 days, here's where the good stuff starts. 2 days after Matthew and I started to officially date is when I was like, I gotta come out. And so I remember it was literally like a Tuesday or something. No, I think it was a Wednesday. No, it was a Thursday. It was definitely a Thursday. I remember on a Monday, we went to Qdoba, and I thought you were gonna ask me to be
your boyfriend.
Yeah, and you didn't. And then Tuesday, we went to Comfy Cow, and then you asked me. And then 2 days later, so it was a Thursday. Here's where all the bad decisions start to happen. I wake up, and I'm like, I'm gonna tell my mom right before going to school. Which is just one, stupid, because it should be a like sit down conversation. I was gonna tell her in person right before I left for school, right before I drove off to school. I think I called her into the kitchen and I was like, let's talk. And then she was like, what? And I was like, never mind. So I went to school. And so the whole drive over, I was like bugging. I was like, I have to tell her. So then I think I tried to call her and I couldn't say it either. And if you know you can't say it, then you know it's not your time.
Yeah.
That's one advice. And so, but I was like, no, I'm gonna tell her. So what am I, not Gen Z, I'm not Gen Z, but I'm not millennial ass do?
Zillennial!
Oh yeah, I'm a zillennial.
Zillennial!
I sent a text message.
Not this.
I sent it in a text. That's my, like, before you even asked, yes, that's my biggest regret.
Okay.
Of this whole situation, maybe of my life, low-key. I literally sent, like, a paragraph or something. I didn't even get time to digest the fact that I was gay. I also wrote in the paragraph, I also have a boyfriend. Like, how insensitive of me to do that to them. Also, growing up, I would hear, like, some of my family members, we'd be at my grandma's house, and gay people would be on TV, and they'd be like, ew, yucky. I heard one of them said that thing is my religion, all sorts of things, which is very scary coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew so many of them had a lot of negative feelings towards it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I still came out. And I only told my mom, and I think I texted her, you can tell Dad. And my mom responded something generic. And so then I'm crying because I thought everything was going to be okay. It was something like, still love you, yada, yada, yada. Then I get out of my car, because I was in the car texting before school started. I go and I hug Matthew, I'm like bawling, yada, yada, yada. And then go to school and I'm like, yay, it's over with. And then I go home and it was just not
over with.
My dad was not home. I don't know where he was. I didn't see him for like, I think 3 or 4 days. And I don't remember the first couple of days. I just remember I was in a really dark place because my parents and I were not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually my dad came back from wherever he was. and we were just arguing for days and days on end, yelling, yada, 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 doing this. Matthew got banned from my house for 8 or 9 months. So yeah, Matthew got banned for a lot of months. There was arguing. He got, I think, on my phone probably taken away multiple times.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I remember I snuck out. I worked in a movie theater at the time, and I told my parents I had to work a double just so I can sneak out in the earlier to go on a date with Matthew, and then I would go work my shift later. And my parents tried to surprise me at work, and they showed up during the earlier half of my double, and they obviously didn't see me. So then I think I had a tracking device on my phone, and so they tracked my phone to where I was in my car after Matthew had just left, and we got into a yelling match in the parking lot, and all than that. So then when the whole shift, I was just not in the mood to be there. So then I got home, and we were yelling again, and they were like, "How do you even know you're gay?" And I was really not trying to say this, but I just blurted it out because of things I had done in the past. And they did not like that answer. Then I got sent to my room. And so that was all in March. So I came out in February. This was like early March. So all this happening in multiple weeks. And so eventually my mom thinks we should go to family therapy. It was supposed to be like we each would go to the same therapist individually, and then my parents would go together. And then I was supposed to go with my mom, and then I was supposed to go with my dad. They were all three supposed to go together. We didn't get all those steps. I think my dad just went by himself. I went a couple times. I didn't want to be there at all. I went a couple times by myself. I did one session with my mom, but I never did any sessions with my dad. I don't know if he did any sessions with my mom. I'm not sure. But I did not want to be there at all.
Were they any helpful?
No, they helped just clear the air a little bit. But eventually, summer vacation happened. Things just got kind of neutral. It was still like on thin ice.
It wasn't good nor bad.
I was allowed to go out with Matthew, but he could not come in. I remember one day I was like, let's meet on neutral ground. I was like, what if Matthew comes to church with us? And at first my parents agreed, and then I said, okay, I'll meet you all there because I'm going to go pick Matthew up. And then they didn't show up to church. It was just me and Matthew. Remember that?
I do.
And so I was upset about that, and they said it was just too much. But then eventually, I'm missing a whole section. Hold up. When I first came out, my parents told my entire family on the spot. I think by the time I got home from school, they were like, everybody knows. Instead of talking to me directly, then everyone else talking to me, which kind of pissed me off. I had my uncle from Virginia call me and tell me this sad story about how he knew somebody in the Navy, when he was in the Navy, how he knew somebody in the Navy who was gay, and how he died from AIDS. And I was like, I don't want to hear that story. And then I had my neighbor come over, not like, this is an adult neighbor. My parents are best friends with our neighbors, and this neighbor came over and like gave me a talk, and he was like, oh, I've known for a while. And I was like,
don't say that. Don't say that.
And then he gave me a talk about, I don't know what he gave me a talk, I don't remember. Then my mom made me write an essay about gay sex health.
I remember that.
And all I did,
it was like 2 pages, right? 2 or 3 pages?
Yeah, and there was a whole party going on, and she made me sit and write this essay. You know what I did? I copied and pasted Wikipedia. I said, I'm not writing this essay. I shall not. And so I did not write the essay. But yeah, that's besides the point. I just wanted to throw that nonsense out there.
Tidbit of information.
I was really afraid a lot of my family would disown me.
Because of what they said in the past.
Yeah, but some of them didn't. There's some family members who I don't know if they have. When I think about it, I've not seen a lot of them since I came out.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know if that's a coincidence or...
It may just be coincidence.
Granted, I'm not home often just because I went to college and I moved to New York. But I've not seen a lot of my like dad's side of the family a lot since I came out.
Really?
Yeah. I see like the immediate ones, so like my grandma and my like
uncle. So
all her children and all their children, so all that. But like my grandma's male siblings, I have not seen. How many does she have? She has 3 male siblings. I've not seen 2 of them since.
Interesting. And you would see them a lot beforehand?
I've seen them a good amount. But back to the timeline. So around Thanksgiving, my mom was like, okay, let me try with Matthew. So we went out to eat at Cheddar's. Just me, Matthew,
And your mom.
and my mom. I don't know if this was the same day or what, but because Matthew and I have been dating for like 8 months at this point.
Yeah.
I think she allowed Matthew to come over and help us set up our Christmas tree.
Yes, I do remember.
Don't know if that's the same day or like just really close by.
I think they're really close.
And so that was the first time Matthew was officially invited over. So it took 8 months to get there. There's a lot of ups and downs and emotions and drama, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something because I probably blocked it out because it was just too much for me to handle at the time.
Yeah. Well, it was a lot all at once. And honestly, I'm surprised I had met your mom officially like that. Relatively, I would say soon. I thought it would take much longer, to be honest. And then being allowed into your home, I thought it would take longer too. Just because of how everything had played out originally.
And then I remember on Christmas Day, so my parents never told me Santa wasn't real. Rude. And I remember I found out in 6th grade via my social studies teacher. But when I was 18 or 17, so it was my senior year of high school, my dad wrote me this like letter from Santa where he officially like
Said
he wasn't real, and all this stuff about me being gay, you know, how he still loves me and how this year was horrible, but like we're gonna get through it. And my dad, normally I read my letters and saying it out loud, but my dad literally just said, don't read it out loud. Like he didn't want to hear it out loud.
It's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot. And so my dad's crying, then I start crying. My dad does not cry. And so all that happened. I think that's all the important details of me coming out. Granted, my parents and I had like not talked about it at all since 2014. That was like the year all that happened. And so in 2019, I wrote this solo show called Unmasked, coming out. I can't say that word. I made a whole title. Yeah, I don't even know if it's a real word, but I made a whole title I can't pronounce. Coming out into existence. And it was a whole hour and a half long
about coming out.
Yeah, solo show about coming out. And it was in May of my senior year. Literally 6 days before I graduated is when the show was. And I literally was so scared to invite my family.
You almost didn't.
I invited them like 3 days before the show. They had no idea it was happening, and I invited them 3 days before the show, and they still showed up. I don't know if I told them the subject matter. My mom said on the phone, am I gonna cry? And I said, no.
You big lie.
I big lied.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
Cause you were boohoo crying.
Yo, I was on stage like this. Yeah, my mom and dad were in the front row, which was even worse. Cause I had to see their reactions, which made me cry harder. So it was like a solo show with like monologues that I had written, mixed in with like pre-existing songs throughout the world. So that way it would be like a whole storyline through song, essentially. I don't regret it at all. But I have a video of it and I refuse to watch it. I got it professionally recorded, paid someone to record it.
It's nice quality. We saw clips from it.
Yeah, I think I've watched one song. I don't know when I will ever watch that.
And that's fine. It's a really emotional show. It would take you to a place that was just really emotional.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm eventually going to watch it. Act 1, it was fine.
Act 2 is when all the serious stuff happens.
Yeah, maybe I just watch Act 1.
That's like only doing Act 1 of Into the Woods.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for me?
I mean, we talked about, I was there for it all, so like, I understand like your coming out a little more than probably mine.
Yeah, so Matthew came out the womb like this.
I want Chanel 9 boots. Saw these niggas steady jocking because they know I'm the truth.
Yours was different.
Mine was different. Granted, mine was still not as bad as some people's. Like
some people's.
We were just watching Drag Race yesterday, and
Yesterday.
there's people talking about how they got kicked out. So like,
And how they left their home because they didn't feel safe.
I never felt unsafe.
No.
I just never.
It was just it was a hard time.
I didn't ever fear that I was gonna get kicked out, but I did fear that I may have. At first, I feared that I may have to hide this part of my life forever. It may just be that unspoken thing. And so now my mom wants to have these sex talks, and I'm like,
It's really funny because it's like
She'll be doing research and everything.
yeah.
And so yeah, long story short, a week ago my mom asked if she can come to New York City Pride. And I told her no. I said, Mom, I be dressed a certain way and I don't want you to see me like that.
And it wasn't she like, I'll dress a certain way?
Yeah, she's like, I'll dress that way too. And I said, I don't want to see you like that. Any other questions for me?
Do you wish you would have come out sooner or
No.
So overall you don't have many regrets?
I wish it would have come out later when I was actually ready. I think I was just too excited to have a boyfriend.
And like you said, you had a good feeling, and I guess here we are.
Obviously, we've edited that word, this video by now, but I'm sorry it's a long one. I'm sure it's probably going to be 20 plus.
Yeah. Yours is just so much more involved than mine was.
So, thank you for staying this long. Next video is going to be something fun and funny and silly and straight.
I don't know about that.
If you all want to see something, let us know in the comments. We love comments.
We love taking suggestions. Our coming out videos were actually suggestions. I don't know why.
Earlier on.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't think of it ourselves.
If you haven't already, subscribe. And if you want to know when we make our next little video, hit the bell notification.
Alrighty, remember to back up your phones. Remember to not charge your phones all night. It's horrible for your battery. And love wins. And stay safe. Wear your masks. And...
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed?